Is Top Gun about Maverick's struggle with his homosexuality? I'm going to break down the most homoerotic moments in Top Gun, discuss Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avary's analysis, as well as the producer's surprising response. So stay with me. I'll present the evidence, and then I want to know what you think. Do you believe Top Gun is about a cocky, young Navy pilot's struggle with his homosexuality? In addition to being a propaganda film for the Navy, film critics, conspiracy theorists, and film studies majors have long noted the homoeroticism of Top Gun. Quentin Tarantino called the script for Top Gun one of the greatest, most subversive Hollywood has ever produced. And Pauline Kael wrote in her 1986 review that the movie is a shiny homoerotic commercial. The pilots strut around the locker room in towels hanging precariously from their waists. The cadets at the U.S. Navy's Fighter Weapons School are young, cocky pilots that are often sweaty and love to get in each other's faces. And their superiors hilariously heighten the sexual tension. After Maverick performs an illegal flyby spilling an officer's coffee, the officer barks, "I want somebody's butt and I want it now. I've had it. God damn it. That's twice. I want some butts." And I simply adore the twink he slams into on his way out the door. The synopsis of Top Gun, according to the studio, a cocky young fighter pilot is accepted into the Navy's elite fighter school to compete for the title of Top Gun. But his reckless attitude and cocky demeanor put him at odds with the other pilots, especially the cool and collected Iceman. The synopsis, according to Quentin Tarantino and his Pulp Fiction co-writer Roger Avary, a cocky young fighter pilot is accepted into the Navy's elite fighter school to compete for the title of Top Gun, but he must embrace his homosexuality and join Iceman's group of elite gay fighter pilots in order to defeat the Russians. Tarantino says that Maverick and Iceman's love affair is the core of the film, and that only after Maverick is tempted by the femme fatale, played by Kelly McGillis, can Maverick come to terms with his homosexuality and proclaim Iceman as his wingman. When you follow Tarantino's and Avary's logic, they are merely studying Top Guns in terms of classic storytelling. These characters fit the ancient archetypes, like pieces in a puzzle. Maverick is the hero, Iceman the love interest, and Charlie's natural place is as the femme fatale. In my research, I came across two online articles that aided me greatly in the writing of this show, and you should definitely check them out. The first, How Gay Is Top Gun Really? By Sean Braswell, and the second, I Want Some Butts, a look back at the gayest moments in Top Gun by Cameron Sheets. I included links to both of their articles in the show description. Is Top Gun a propaganda film for the Navy or a story about a young man's coming to terms with his homosexuality? I'm going to paraphrase and quote Cameron Sheets. If you set out to create a realistic depiction of the Navy in the hopes of attracting millions of hormone-fueled teenage boys to join its ranks, then homoeroticism and latent sexual tension are probably going to be added to the mix. Homosexual subtext is embedded in Maverick's call to adventure. Chomping a cigar, Commander Stinger tells Maverick, "I'd like to bust your butt, but I can't." Commander Stinger informs Maverick and his partner Goose that they've been accepted into the Navy's elite fighter pilot school. On Maverick's first day of class, one pilot says to the other regarding all of the technical lingo, "This gives me a hard-on." "Don't tease me," the other one retorts. But the actual subtext isn't spoken. It's the electricity generated between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer as Maverick and Iceman. From the moment they meet, they are at odds, the classic beginning to any romance. Here's the locker room scene that legendary film critic Pauline Kael called a shiny homoerotic commercial. The men are young, hot, sweaty, and close-talking, and Maverick even presents his ass in this scene. It's not the only time Maverick presents his ass. The beach volleyball montage speaks for itself. Shirtless, sweaty men in the sand. In my opinion, the volleyball montage is not as gay as a lot of the other scenes and dialogue that I'm discussing, except that they scored the volleyball game to the song Playing with the Boys. How are we supposed to react? Then there's Meg Ryan. And yes, she delivers in her short time on screen, but her most important role is that she informs the audience of Goose's heterosexual prowess. With her line, "Hey Goose, you big stud, take me to bed or lose me forever." Spoiler alert, he dies. The only definitively straight fighter pilot dies. They killed the straight guy. As Maverick grieves in a pair of tighty-whities, his superior gently tells him from behind that he has to move on. And Maverick does. He goes on to save Iceman's life. And all of the homoerotic tension comes to a climax in the final moments when Iceman exclaims that Maverick can be his wingman anytime. And Maverick responds with, "Bullshit, you can be mine." According to Sean Braswell, the real last shot of the movie is a romantic one between Maverick and Charlie, but that feels like a coda to the wingman moment, proving the relationship that Top Gun really wants you to invest in is the one between these two men. Top Gun's gay reinterpretation can be found largely in a monologue delivered by Quentin Tarantino in the 1994 film Sleep With Me. The monologue, analyzing and reinterpreting Top Gun as a gay coming-out story and romance, was written by Roger Avary, Tarantino's co-writer of Pulp Fiction. Avary had uncovered a homosexual coming-out story beneath the bombastic Navy propaganda. I'll paraphrase their monologue about Top Gun's true plot. It is a story about a man's struggle with his own homosexuality. You've got Maverick, he's on the edge, and you've got Iceman and all of his crew. They're gay. They represent the gay man, and they're saying, go the gay way. And Kelly McGillis, she's heterosexuality. She's saying, no, go the normal way, play by the rules. And they're saying, no, go the gay way. That is what's going on throughout the whole movie. He goes to her house, it looks like they're going to have sex. You know, they're just kind of sitting back, he's taking a shower and everything. They don't have sex. He gets on the motorcycle and drives away. And she's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? Next scene you see her. She's in the elevator. She is dressed like a guy. She's got the cap on, she's got the aviator glasses, she's wearing the same jacket that Iceman wears. The real ending of the movie is when they fight at the end because Maverick has passed over into the gay way. They are this gay fighting force, and they're beating the Russians. And it's over, and they land, and Iceman's been trying to get Maverick the entire time, and finally, he's got it. And what is the last line that they have together? They're all hugging and kissing and happy with each other, and Iceman comes up to Maverick, and he says, "Man, you can ride my tail anytime." And what does Maverick say? "You can ride mine." Okay, the last lines are a bit revisionist. They actually are, "You can be my wingman anytime," and Maverick replies, "Bullshit, you can be mine." Tarantino and Avary presented Top Gun as a gay romance, suggesting that it's only when Maverick is tempted by the femme fatale, Charlie, that he can come to terms with his homosexuality and proclaim Iceman as his wingman in the movie's climax. So what do the writer and producer have to say about Top Gun's reinterpretation as a gay classic? Well, the volleyball and locker room scenes were born because both writers, Jack Epps Jr. and Jim Cash, were athletes. Jack Epps Jr. said that Top Gun is really a sports movie, so the locker room is the only time these guys are ever really together. They say they wrote locker room scenes because that is where the pilots would get a sense of community. But Jack Epps Jr. did not shy away from the homosexual interpretation. He said of the director, Tony Scott had a certain look that he was using stylistically, and you look at that look, and it's a very gay look in terms of the haircuts and the styles and the male beefcake. He says, "I don't think it was intentional, but I don't think you can avoid it." Jack Epps Jr. said in regards to the gay reinterpretation, it adds a whole different layer to the film. He says, it's part of the myth of the movie. Movies become what they become. At the end of the day, you want the audience to react to it, interact with it. If that's part of the interaction, then that's what the movie is. In an interview with Vulture, Top Gun producer Jerry Bruckheimer said of the gay interpretation, "Coming from Quentin, it's a compliment. When you make a movie, people can interpret it in any way they want and see something in it that the filmmakers had no idea they were tapping. There's a relevance to these theories because people believe it. For me, Sean Braswell's article for Aussie.com reduces Top Gun's homoerotic formula the best. I'll quote from his article. In short, when your film's formula consists of a carnally inclined filmmaker, a fetishist director, true-to-life locker room dialogue, and a military recruitment wing looking to redirect the aggression of testosterone-laden teenage viewers, then it's not surprising that the result is a turbocharged homoerotic vehicle capable of firing up imaginations. The carnally inclined filmmaker is Jerry Bruckheimer, who also produced American Gigolo and Flashdance. The fetishist director is Tony Scott, who began his career in commercials, fetishizing whatever he shot. The writing team meticulously researched the lives of the airmen attending the real Top Gun flight school. As Epps later recalled, virtually everything that happens in the film is based on a story that was told to him by a pilot. And yes, the Navy's military recruitment wing was heavily involved in the script. Top Gun also inspired the expression Top Gun gay, which can be defined as a situation where things are totally straight but seem a little off, like two men talking in a locker room with towels, and one of them has their leg up. I did find a list of the top 10 straight boy quotes from Top Gun. It was really boring and seems to have been written for the film. I'm just not going to go there today, needless to say. I feel the need for speed was number one. I prefer, I want somebody's butt, and I want it now. I am so excited to see Top Gun Maverick opening on May 27th. The early reviews have been fantastic. Paramount released the original Top Gun in May of 1986. Top Gun became a summer smash, and the movie's soundtrack reached #1 for 5 consecutive weeks and remains an artifact, with hits like Danger Zone and Take My Breath Away, which won the Academy Award for Best Song. And Top Gun Maverick, their theme song is sung by Lady Gaga. Obviously, producer and megastar Tom Cruise is not shying away from the LGBTQ. So what do you think? Is Top Gun the story of a cocky young fighter pilot coming to terms with his homosexuality? Or a Navy propaganda film? Or a little bit of both? I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments section. All right, y'all, until next time, always remember, living well